Hi Aries, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. Remember, they're general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, also wanted to say, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share. If you should so choose and this resonates, hit that subscribe button. So your key to the week this week is the Devil card. So my dear Aries, where is it that you are potentially getting in your own way? Remember, with the Devil card, it's usually that we are, so it can be addictions, it can be, you know, we're tied to, you know, obsessions and all of the rest of it. Absolutely possible. But very often what I've found in my experience and what I've started to really understand about people is that this card usually shows up when we are locked into the fact that there's only one way to do something, or ours is the only way. Now, we know, Aries, you do like to get your own way. You had a jumping card, that's why I leant down. And your jumping card is the Two of Wands, right? But one of the messages behind this Devil card, it does suggest that in all of these different areas of life, there is some part of you that's being way too rigid and you're not seeing it from another perspective. Whatever the reason is, this could be pain, it could be grief, it could be a blind spot. You know, there are times, this is one of the things about myself, you know, and I can say this, one of the things that I love about myself is when, you know, if someone is, you know, if their energy changes or if they treat me a certain way, I'll often say, like, if there's a problem or if I've done something, let me know what it is, give me the opportunity to change it. Because if I don't know, I mean, I tend to be quite self-aware and quite intuitive, but if I don't know that I've done something wrong or to upset you, how can I fix that? How can I change that, right? You've got to tell me. You got the Two of Wands in your actions and options. So this week you are very focused on your money, your finances. It looks like you're also really starting to think about your future and in terms of the moves that you're ready to make. The other thing with the Two of Wands, in terms of the options that are available to you, you're likely to be having conversations with people who are not above you, but maybe they're more accomplished within a specific field. And I have to say, with this Devil card, it's really important that you don't shoot yourself in the foot. Give them time to show you and share their expertise with you, because the chances are that you're going to learn something this week. When it comes to your communications and conversations, you've got the Tower card, right? This with the Devil card, you have to ask yourself if it's worth it. You have to really ask yourself, is this worth the argument? Is it worth the fight? Is it worth the battle? Because you've got the Tower card here, that is, and it's in the communication sector, right? So there's very likely to be a very explosive conversation this week. And a part of it is probably because you refuse to back down or to acknowledge some part of you that does potentially need to shift. Now, when it comes to for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this does, especially with the Two of Wands here, there's a problem with the institution that you're at on a financial level. So I wouldn't be surprised if your institution kind of, you know, starts talking about budget cuts and all the rest of it. And this might come very much out of the blue. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, be very careful about getting into it, even if it's just with a colleague, right? This doesn't have to be with a superior. Even if this is just with a colleague, I would be very careful about getting into it with somebody, because the chances are this will have a hangover. It's not localized to now. Like, whatever this argument, challenge, issue, etc. is that comes up, you will probably end up dealing with it for a good while to come. So be mindful. I mean, it's the Tower, so this does suggest that there's potentially no way around it, right? And there are times like that in life where we have to have it out with somebody. There are times where we have to kind of draw the line in the sand or whatever the case might be. But just know that this might get a little bit bigger or a little bit louder than you had anticipated. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, like, trying to push a square peg into a round hole. There's something this week that you potentially will break, whether this is a client relation, whether it is a business opportunity. There's something here that because you're so rigid or choosing that there's only one way to do this, the chances are you'll end up breaking it and you'll end up kicking yourself later on because it will potentially cost you quite a lot of money. This is one of those times, it's not about, biting your tongue or turning the other cheek. Stand your ground, absolutely, but the way that you do that, the words that you use, the language that you use need to be very much thought out this week, all right? And if this is that, maybe you discover that a client has been dishonest or whatever the case might be, then you have the power, but you don't use that power to utterly destroy them. You find a way to be smart about it, all right? With that said, when it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working for any reason, this is a larger situation that has been brewing for a while in the background, that will need to be sort of observed or looked at. From this point, I think this is about you being really honest with yourself about how far something can or cannot continue. For your love and relations, you've got the Seven of Swords. Okay, look, I'm sorry to say this is not an easy card. Seven of Swords, if you've been with me long enough, you know this is like one of my least, not even my, this is my least favourite card in the whole deck. Because this shows up and you do have the Devil card as the key to the week, I'm really sorry to say this, but it does look like a partner, or so if you're partnered, married, or in a long-term commitment, this week you will uncover a lie. Your partner, it could be something really trivial, but because you've got a lot of stuff going on in the background, your reaction to this, small sort of white lie might just be so disproportionate, and then everybody's like, okay, what the hell was that about? Because you've got the Tower card here, this will be a moment of illumination. It will be a moment where you see how a partner really thinks, what really is their priority, and it clashes very harshly with your own. This may have something to do with a financial matter, but we'll have a look as we move forward. For those of you that are single, if you are sort of newly seeing someone, if you're flirting with someone, you might... this week you might get to see a different side of them, and from there you're going to have to really sort of decide whether that's for you. For your money and materials, you have the Seven of Cups. So this thing that I was talking about is very likely to be about a financial matter. So that's something to watch out for. So you've got the Seven of Cups, you've got the Seven of Swords, and then you've got the Tower card, which is number 16. 1 and 6 gives you 7. So technically you have 3 sevens here. 3 sevens in the Tower represents infirmity. Your physical health and vitality must be paramount this week, all right? You must look after yourself. Your physical health and vitality, no matter what else is going on, make sure you're taking care of yourself. When it comes to your money and your finances and resources, there is going to be something that's uncovered or revealed around finances this week, and it potentially causes quite a stir. I wish I could say, I'm trying to look for the good stuff here, but I don't have a lot to work with, all right? When it comes to your physical health and vitality, the Seven of Cups, this will be about, especially with the Devil card, this will be about your own personal overindulgence. If you have been drinking that little bit much more than usual, if you have been, eating a little bit worse than normal, whatever it is that you've been overindulging with, the cards are telling you, they're giving you a heads up. Get on top of this now because it will become a problem later, right? That's just from this combination. Then we add to it the 3 sevens and that infirmity. Infirmity in the old tongue, or in the old way of speaking, literally meant like illness. So you have to be really careful with your physical self this week. When it comes to your home and environment, the Seven of Cups for the home and environment means that there's just a lot to do. And because you've got this Devil card here, it's almost like it's like one of those times where your house is a mess and you just like, I have so many other things to do right now. I just can't. Do you know what I mean? Like this, I literally just can't get to it. If it's possible for you, outsource this week, right? Get a cleaner in, even if it's just like a one-time thing, or, maybe you say, look, I'm going to need some ongoing support for the next 3 months, or whatever the case might be. Get someone in to help you, all right? With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Look after yourselves, please, 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 all right? Take care, and I'll see you soon.